Yeah, you found me. And I got something in my eye. Well, how you guys doing? Jared Fuller here. Today is Sunday, May 3rd, 2020. So glad you could join me for another installment of the Sunday video update. Dad and Amy are gone. So I'm flying solo this week. They had to run to Owasso to take care of some important business, take care of a few things. Thanks for watching again this week. So provided now that I have the house all to myself and I'm not getting any interruptions, I'm not having any disturbances mid-sentence when I try to speak, I'm just going to freestyle anything that comes to mind and just kind of talk about random things and of course, you know, give a reflection of how my week was. My week was actually pretty good. Yesterday it was 80 degrees here in Michigan, and I did get burnt from the sun just a little bit. My hands are swollen and just a tad bit inflamed, and they're a little bit red. But, you know, I make do with photosensitivity flare-ups, and I try to limit my time in the sun, being outdoors. And, you know, of course, everybody is still dealing with the coronavirus, and we're all exercising our social distancing, and you know, we're doing what we have to do to stay healthy and make sure everybody else is healthy, and we're all trying to get through this as best as we can. There was another protest down at Capitol Building in Lansing last week, and the news says that it was a peaceful protest, but there's conflicting information coming directly from the governor. And, I mean, but we could see it. There were people actually showing up with AR-15s and wearing swastikas and all that crazy stuff, which I wasn't in Lansing. I haven't been to Lansing in quite some time, actually. But that's according to Governor Whitmer. I don't know how true it is, although I did see the guns. I saw the protesters strapped with AR-15s, which they are allowed to do. It's a constitutional right. However, provided that it's a federal building, it's a government-owned building, I don't think that was a wisest decision, because now they're trying to consider it as an act of terrorism instead of protest. So we have to be very careful and very clear on how we define things and how we and we have to know the boundaries. We have to know that, you know, we cannot cross the lines of instilling fear. But if you want to protest, you have a right to a peaceful protest demonstration. You are allowed that. You're granted that. You're afforded that. But when you start scaring the hell out of everybody and you've got AR-15 strapped to you, you know, that kind of makes people a bit frightened. Even if it is your right to carry a gun, you're on a government building. You're on the property of a government building, and that tends to you know, it tends to ramp up the hype a little bit more. And so you have to be careful. We have to know what we're doing. We have to be smart. We have to be, we just have to be a lot more careful. Now, there's friends of mine who say, well, why the hell are they even at the Capitol again? People don't learn. They need to stay home and follow the CDC guidelines and, you know, maintain the social distancing and don't go out unless you absolutely have to. Which is also true. I mean, we have to make sure that we maintain the social distancing, and we have to follow the orders, or at least the guidelines of the CDC. It's a government, Governor Whitmer ordered us to stay home, but the CDC is recommending that we continue to maintain the social distancing of 6 feet. I wore a mask last week. I had to wear a mask because now at the local post office, they're requiring that you wear a mask. I have trouble breathing wearing the mask. I don't have COPD or asthma or anything like that, but I cannot breathe wearing the mask. So I have to kind of like pull the mask away from my face, or at least, you know, kind of bring it down beneath my nose just for a few minutes so I could, you know, breathe through my nose. You know, and again, I'm doing this not only for my protection, but for your protection as well, and for safety and health reasons. But I cannot breathe in the mask. I just can't. And, you know, I was joking with some friends of mine in Messenger last week. I said, you know, maybe I should just tape a paper plate to my face and draw on the eyebrows and, yeah, I don't know, get a little creative, cut out the eyes and cut out the hole for the nose so I can breathe through my nose and for my mouth anyway, I can, yeah. I would look really ridiculous, but, I'd rather look ridiculous for the time that I'm out in public than to be out in public and risk my own health in accordance with other people's health. I don't want to get anybody sick, and I don't want other people to get me sick. So I'm doing what I have to do. I'm still, following the guidelines, and I'm doing the absolute best I can without getting overly annoyed or overwhelmed with the current situation at hand. So I hope you've all been doing well and staying safe, and I hope you're exercising the CDC guidelines and making sure that you're keeping your family safe and keeping everybody else safe as well, because this is very important. I talk about childhood cancer a lot because we are a subjugated demographic of a population of people affected by it, but overall, the world over, health affects each and every individual. So that's why when they say we're all in this together, well, in that regard, yes, we are, because health affects everybody individually. So it is important that we respect each other enough to not make each other sick. And, we have to do what we have to do. This is serious business, and we have to take it seriously. So with all that out of the way, because we hear about this, ad nauseum daily on television, on the radio, I understand how prominent COVID is, but at the same time, I just get annoyed with it after a while, and I just want to focus my attention or shift my attention on other things, so that way I'm not getting annoyed and anxious, and I'm getting tired of hearing about it. But it is important. At the same time, it is important. Governor Whitmer has reopened. She's allowed for some things to open back up again. Like you can take your boat out on the lake or the river or something like that. I'm not accurate. Well, you can take your boat out. That was one of the things that she allowed. I think you're allowed to go back out onto the golf courses, but don't quote me on that. I would recommend that you do your research if you are a fellow Michigander like I am, and just kind of do your research a little bit. I also read somewhere that there were 300 more cases of COVID-19 just in Muskegon County alone. That's on the west side of the state. Being a Michigander, you've always got a map with you. Muskegon County on the west side of the state along the Lake Michigan shoreline. I don't know how accurate it is, but it could be. 300 more cases of COVID-19 just in Muskegon County alone. So we have to be careful, and like I said, maintain your social distancing, wear your mask and all that stuff. But at the same time, I'm kind of contradicting myself, or at least Governor Whitmer is contradicting herself, because if she's allowing boating and if she's allowing the golf courses to be open, especially boating, we'll just go with boating for now. It's hard to stay 6 feet apart from someone if you're in a boat. If there's a large gathering of people, you're not going to be 6 feet apart on one little boat. I mean, that just doesn't work. Some people there's a lot of mixed feelings and reactions about Governor Whitmer allowing for some things to come back. Some people think it's too soon. Some people think that she's making a wise decision. And there are some people who just don't care either way, and they're going out there and, carelessly doing what they're doing and not taking any of this seriously. And I'm trying to make sense of all of this myself, and there's a lot of conflicting information, which is why I try to at least refrain from talking about it so much. But at the same time, it's important. Everybody's got to know what's going on. And I'm not going to get into statistics, at least not largely as far as new cases, but I did mention 300 new cases in Muskegon County alone, which, again, I don't know how accurate that is. I would have to do a quick Google search and confirm that. But here I am. I'm in Saginaw County, and I'm doing okay. I mean, as far as health-wise is concerned, I'm getting a little bit depressed because, I haven't heard from my friends a whole lot. But the day did start out pretty good, actually. I was having a discussion with a friend of mine. She lives in Texas, and I wasn't aware that Verner's Ginger Ale was sold in Texas. She says it's sold in some parts of Texas, but not everywhere. And Verner's Ginger Ale is a Michigan-based drink. And I did mention the Boston Cooler, which originated in Detroit, actually. A gentleman named Fred Sanders had invented the drink. And basically what it is just Verner's Ginger Ale and vanilla ice cream. That's it. It's more like a milkshake than a float. And it's really good. I haven't had a Boston Cooler in who knows how long, but they are really, really good. And if you ever come to Michigan when all this COVID stuff comes to an end, and if you decide to vacation here in Michigan, you should try a Boston Cooler. They're really good. Verner's Ginger Ale and vanilla ice cream. So, yes, they are yummy in the tummy. And speaking of ice cream, I had like 2 or 3 bowls of Neapolitan ice cream last night. We've been eating a lot of meat products here, which is fine. I'm a meat eater, and I like meat, but at the same time, I like variety. And it doesn't hurt to, pig out on a little bit of junk food. Once in a while, you have to treat yourself. But we've been eating a lot of meat around here, and it's kind of getting old. And my dad said the same thing. He says, man, I'm not even hungry because we've been eating so much meat. He says, I don't want to eat for a while, for a couple days. And we have been really exerting ourselves with meat products in particular. I like salad. I like, a nice chef salad. I like the grape tomatoes and the iceberg lettuce and the ham cubes and the egg and the shredded cheese. And I add croutons and bacon bits and ranch dressing. That sounds good. We don't have any chef salad here, and I'm talking food. But I like salad. I love salad. Salad is pretty good. And I don't have any, seems I'm the only one here right now. I'm home alone. I'm so used to looking over here where Amy sits and getting input, but they are gone. So I'm just going to freestyle the rest of the video. And so my week was pretty good for the most part, other than the photosensitivity flare-up, being allergic to the sun. And there's been talks of stimulus checks. I know many of you have received your stimulus payments. If I'm even getting one, which I have no idea, I'm really not looking for one. But on the other hand, I am. But it's like, if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. But I'm kind of mindful of it. Like I check my account, or at least I check the mailbox, but I haven't received one. If I'm eligible to get one, I haven't received it yet. But many of you have received yours. Dad hasn't got his. Amy, she hasn't received anything. So who knows? I don't know. My relatives, my neighbors are getting their stimulus checks. But I think what it is because there's so many people that they have to get to, and there's a lot of data that they have to collect in order to know where to send the payments. And I heard that after that, we're supposed to be getting $2,000 a month for the next 12 months. I mean, that's $24,000. That's a lot of money. I don't know how they're going to be able to pull it off. But only time will tell. So as far as that goes, I don't know a whole lot more about the stimulus payments or how that works. But all I know is I haven't received mine yet, and even if I did, why would I announce it? You know, why would I announce it? Because they're going to know where to come, but why would you come to my house to hit me up for money? You should also be getting a stimulus check. You don't need to borrow money from me. Not that I wouldn't loan it, but, yeah, whatever. I mean, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. But anyway, so it just, I don't really know what else to talk about other than things that are kind of, I mean, this is, the things that bother me, and you know, in particular, childhood cancer. There's a lot going on with childhood cancer that I'm excited about. There's many more things that upset me. And I guess the things that I'm excited about are just more personal feelings, like the people that I've met, or the people I'm going to meet, the people who want to meet me, and we keep in contact through Messenger and text message, and you know, those people, they want to meet me, and I'm looking forward to it. I am like so utterly excited to meet these people. And so that's personally for me, that's what does it for me, is just knowing that I have those connections, and I have their love, and they have my love, and it's mutual, and we keep in contact every so often, like every other day or whatever. And there are people that I've already met, not at their house, but we've met, like they vacation somewhere and I drive to a point where we can all gather up and meet, but not at their vacation point. Like we've met up at a restaurant. I had driven to Sandusky, Ohio. I think it was a couple years back. But that's what excites me. The things that really upset me and annoy me, and this could potentially take a while to go over because I talk about this seemingly ad nauseum weekly, and as much as I hate to drown out the Sunday video with the same thing over and over and over again, reiterating and rehashing things I've said, you know, previously prior to that, it has to continuously be said in order for people to really and truly understand how serious I am about the things I say. Because clearly nobody watches the videos because either they don't know that these videos exist, or they know that the videos exist and they get sick and tired of listening to me talk about the same thing over and over again. But it's important. The problem is continuous. It doesn't go away. And one of the big problems that I have with certain individuals, particularly those who have no scar tissue with childhood cancer whatsoever, it's these people who are using this to try to make themselves stay relevant because they had failed at everything else in life. And I did mention his name last week. He considers himself a recording artist, which he failed, utterly failed. And he was a drug dealer, and, you know, he thinks because he has connections, which, by the way, I wouldn't say that he doesn't have connections, but I highly doubt that his connections are as tight with him as he's trying to portray it to you. Because, I'm friends with people in the entertainment industry. We're not close friends, but we're friends, and they know that I support them. It doesn't mean that I'm having cocktails with them. It doesn't mean that I'm, drinking beer with them at their house. Although last summer I was at a friend's house, and they are in the entertainment business. And yeah, I spent a weekend with them, and it was great. But I'm not in any way saying, oh yeah, we're so tight, and blah, 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 blah. They invited me to their house. Maybe we are tight. I don't know. But either way, I don't drone on about how amazingly close these people are to me, and they will do anything for me, and blah, 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 blah. That's what this guy is doing. And again, anybody who gets on a podcast and gleefully and proudly and succinctly admits to being kicked out of a homeless shelter for sexual harassment is not someone that I would consider to be a role model for children. And the whole thing about that disgusts me the most is how these parents overlook it. These parents are flocking to him because he has lots of money. Lots of money. And he has connections, which he's not tight with these people. There's no way. Because if he was tight with those people, they would be endorsing him and his nonprofit organization. I don't know of any other way to say it. I can't stress it enough. I don't care how much money he has. I don't care how he helped your family. I don't care. A predator is a predator. And if you think it is okay for someone, knowing who and what he is, and evidently there's been screenshots of I've been bombarded in Messenger with screenshots of the kinds of shit that he sent to parents, threatening to throw fathers off balconies and just saying all kinds of horrendous bullshit. That's not someone who I would consider to be a role model for kids, let alone a leader in advocacy for anything even remotely related to childhood cancer. This kind of shit boggles my mind. The fact that these parents are just purposely, they choose not to see it. They can't see the forest for the trees. They think because he's got money and connections and, oh, he got my kids on the Ellen Show. I don't give a fuck if he got your kids on the Ellen Show. I don't care. I mean, if it was an exciting experience for the children and if it had taken their minds off of their treatment, okay, cool. Whatever. They had fun. They got to meet Ellen DeGeneres. That's awesome. However, the producers of that program need to be aware of what they're getting themselves mixed up with and involved into, because regardless of the fact that these kids got to meet Ellen, it doesn't in any way make childhood cancer that much more of a prominent upfront issue. Childhood cancer has been, the awareness side of childhood cancer has been neglected for years. We're tired of it. I'm sick of it. Absolutely. Personally, yes, I am sick of it. Being a survivor, yeah. I'm sick of the fact that childhood cancer gets shoved to the back of the line. And I'm more sick of the fact that survivors like myself are being written off as bad people. Because this idea of groupthink is what has everybody engaged in this sort of kindergarten mentality where all these people said it, so it must be true, and we have to listen to these people, otherwise we're going to get backlash. So it's easier to just follow the crowd than it is to think for myself. And that's really what it is. I'm always going to be on the side of, you know what, you make a claim, show me some evidence. I'm not going to let up on that. No way, no how, not ever. With this other person that I mentioned last week, there is evidence for him. For the things he's done, there's evidence for the things he's said. Now, if he's using the nonprofit organization to, furnish his lavish lifestyle, which I'm starting to think that is the case. But either way, because I'm skeptical about a lot of things, I could be wrong. And there's no way for me to prove that or demonstrate that that is the case. But there are people out there who say that they have the evidence that supports the claim that he is using the nonprofit organization to furnish his lavish lifestyle. In which case, you would have to present that to the proper authorities. Now, if you have that evidence, don't send it to me. Send it to the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Send it to the Miami-Dade Police. Send it to whoever's in charge of that stuff. Send it to them. Do not send it to me. I am fully aware of who he is and what he's about. I don't agree with a lot of the things that goes on with him. And I'm even more disgusted by the fact that so many of these parents put him on a pedestal. They think he's just so wonderful, so amazing. Oh, he helped my family with money. I don't care. That's irrelevant. I don't care. Usually, I'm the kind of person who would encourage people to pay it forward. And I will. I still continue to urge people to pay it forward. But not when you're being a crooked, perceptive piece of shit. That's where I draw the line. When the evidence is there, you don't turn away from it and pretend that it doesn't exist. The evidence is there. Now, just recently, I think it was a couple weeks ago, I was banned from a page through Messenger. I'm not allowed, I can't send messages to the page anymore. And I shared my story with, telling them I had vincristine, jelly on the belly, ultrasounds. I was banned from the page. It's called Love for Layla, by the way, and I will put that out there. And the reason I mention this is because for what reason would I be banned from a page? I am an actual childhood cancer survivor, and there's all kinds of evidence that ties in corroboration with my battle. I'm not trying to, unlike the guy that you worship and whose ass you kiss, I'm not going to grovel anybody, and I don't expect people to grovel at my feet. I don't expect people to kiss my ass. But I will share my story. I am one of you. I was in your child's position. This is something I've been trying to implement for the past 7 years. I share my story. I make my story known to as many people as I can. People hate me the thing is that they hate somebody they don't know for reasons they don't understand. In other words, meaning that they're hating me because they're told to hate me. They have no legitimate reason to hate me. Well, he sent me a letter. Yes, I did. He sent me an email. Yeah, I did. And so what? I mean, I'm trying to help identify a problem. If there is a problem, we have to identify it. We have to acknowledge and recognize the problem. That way, we can try to fix the problem. If, in fact, and we're not talking context, I'm not going to go through the whole context bullshit. I'm talking about actual evidence. If there is actual evidence where I've said or done something wrong, I just want to know what it was. I haven't received evidence of anything. No emails or screenshots or anything of the nature. None of it. I don't know what's gotten people so uptight. But when I ask for evidence, I'm asking for nature of the evidence, or nature of the claim. The evidence would confirm the claim. I'm asking for evidence of that. Okay, that was just a text message from my neighbor. Today's his birthday, by the way. Happy birthday, Jeremy. But what I'm asking for is evidence of wrongdoing. Now, I like to think better of people. I like to think that the people who are watching this, whether you love me or hate me, I'd like to think that you're better than that. I'd like to think that you are grown and mature enough to the point where you understand how logic and evidence and critical thinking works, and that we're not just talking about, oh, in this particular context, ... That's not what I'm asking for. I'm asking for precise evidence where I had done something wrong. And ever since I've been demanding this, and my friends have been demanding this because they try to convince my friends that I'm this bad guy, and when you come up short or empty-handed on evidence, you run away because you know that there's nothing there. You're engaged in this high school mentality where we love to spread juicy gossip because we don't like Jared Fuller. We do not like him. And we are willing, it's not enough that you can't like, it's not enough that you don't like somebody, but you have to take it a step further and try to destroy a person's life because you don't like them. Now, There's people out there who would deny wrongdoing, or they would deny evidence when there is evidence for it. And I'm not denying evidence. I'm asking you to present your case. I'm asking you to show me. Of all the friends, the network of friends that I have, the social circles of friends that I have, I'm known by a lot of people. I have a lot of friends. I would almost suspect, according to my own, the laws of probability and by calculation, mathematics, I would almost suspect at some point, if there was some kind of incriminating evidence that could potentially have me put away, it would eventually circle back around to me. My friends would have the screenshots and they would present it to me of wrongdoing, or even a sound clip of something that I said that was wrong. I do a lot of Sunday video updates. You people know that. I'm here every week. Rain or shine, whether Dad and Amy's here or they're not here, I'm doing the video. You know, I say the word fuck a lot. I mean, so what? Someone actually got uptight with me and blocked me on social media because of my use of the word fuck. It's not a big deal. At least it shouldn't be a big deal, but because now we have COPPA laws and we have these new federal regulations that says if, you know, the video is not meant for kids, blah, 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 we have to, you know, check box it and say this video is not for kids. We have to go through that process. So what I decided to do, and Dad and I had talked about this, I have to put disclaimers at the beginning of the videos from now on, which this video is no exception to the rule. I put up the disclaimers to let people know that I'm going to say the word fuck, or I'm going to say something that is not intended for kids to be listening to. At least I do that now. In the beginning, I never did. But now I'm a bit conscious about the things I say and what I do, obviously. And now I have to put disclaimers on videos, which is fine. It's not a big deal. But if the word fuck is a word that's going to somehow ravage your perfect day, you need to reevaluate your life, and you have to decide what's so wrong about this word. The word fuck is an explanation point in a sentence, which I say quite often. I say the word fuck all the time. Not in public, but if I'm conversing with a friend that I know, a really good friend of mine that I know, and we converse among ourselves, and there's no children around, of course, yeah, I say the word fuck. They say the word fuck. It's not a big deal. And this one guy, because his son runs in marathons, and he raises money and raises awareness, child to cancer research, and he raises awareness. He wears the capes and has the warriors on the capes, which is beautiful. I had spoken to them on the phone, and I thought we had a friendship going, but because the word fuck got in the middle of our friendship, and he decided that, the boy's dad decided that the word fuck was going to, you know, I don't know. It's really stupid, and it's mundane to end a friendship over the word fuck. I don't understand. Somehow the word fuck is going to cripple a healthy friendship. It's absurd to me. It's really and truly absurd. Well, I wouldn't mind it once in a while, but you went overboard in a post, and I don't want my kids seeing that. Well, here's an idea. Why the fuck is your kid on the internet in the first place, if you are so concerned? Stands to reason, doesn't it? I mean, you're not letting your kid watch porn. At least I hope not. And because you're a reasonable person, I know you're not. So why would the word fuck be so much worse? Why would you elevate the word fuck to the point of something that is extremely inappropriate, like porn? It's ridiculous. It is absurd. that people make such a big deal out of little things. And I'm drinking Pepsi today, by the way. I had coffee. I had 2 cups of coffee this morning. I am coffeeed out. But that's where I'm at. The ignorance of people and the foolishness of people is mentally taxing. And the quarantine situation does not help matters. It does not help. Because we're all being told to stay home. And when we get tired of watching television, we resort to our phones and we talk to people, text message or messenger, or we're on social media and we see the same shit practically on social media that we see on television. It's emotionally draining. And guys, I get it. I don't like sitting home all the time. I normally don't mind it. Like if I do a lot of traveling, like last year, I was down in Louisiana. I was in Louisiana. I was in Georgia. I was in, I don't know, Ohio. I think I went to Ohio. No, I didn't go to Ohio last year. I was in Georgia, in Louisiana, and in the Upper Peninsula. I was in Iron Mountain to spend a weekend with my family up there. When I do a lot of traveling, yes, there are moments where I just want to stay home and relax and just enjoy the downtime before I want to get up and go somewhere else. The thing is that being stuck home constantly, day by day by day, it does get frustrating. It gets incredibly frustrating and annoying and overwhelming to the point where you say, I just got to get the fuck out of here. I cannot sit around here anymore. I got to get out and get some fresh air. I mean, I can hear the birds chirping outside of my house right now. And it's a beautiful sound. It's a clear blue sunny day. The blue skies are out, the sun's shining, birds are chirping. It is beautiful today. As a matter of fact, I can give you a temperature real quick. It is, I have to update this real quick, so please bear with me, be patient. At 1:27, it is 68 degrees. Sunny skies and not a cloud to be found. So there's that. I'll respond to my messages as soon as I stop recording this video. But those are the things that annoy me about childhood cancer in particular, is that we have irrelevant people who don't belong here. I don't care how much money they have. I don't care how they help you. I don't care, because the bottom line is this. There's always 2 questions. When I vet somebody, there's 2 questions that I ask. Are you a parent of a childhood cancer survivor, or are you a childhood cancer survivor yourself? And if they answer no to both of those questions, then I present the follow-up. What the fuck are you doing here? What are your intentions? There are plenty of other causes out there. Why ours? And as I catch a lot of flack for this as well, because people say, well, Jared, why would you question that? If someone from the outside of our particular demographic of people, if they are advocating for us, why would you question that? Because on the basis of ulterior motives, I have to question things. You have to question things, because anybody who's looking to remain famous, or famous in air quotes, they are trying ever so desperately to make themselves look good at your expense, and they are willing to ride the backs of your kids. You don't have to believe it. You can be naive enough and say, well, you know what? They really are doing this for the kids. They really do love and care about the kids. Their actions are going to speak louder than their words. I guarantee it. People who have never had to walk the path that we've had to walk, and then they want to come along and think that they're going to preach to me or preach to my friends about what it is to have to go through something that they themselves have never had to go through is absolutely fucking appalling. And I'm not going to sit by and allow for this to happen. And when people are okay with this, I have to bite my tongue because I don't want to cause an uproar and I don't want to cause an argument and I don't want to risk losing a friend. Well, you know what? Some things really and truly need to be said. We cannot continue to let people use your kids for their own selfish purposes and desires. It is wrong. It's immoral. I don't care how much money they raise. I don't care what they do for the kids. I don't care that they got your kids on the Ellen Show. I don't fucking care. The overall picture. Because for me, this is not about glamour. This is not about fame. This is not about, looking good for a photo op. This is not about glamour. This is about something that destroys families. It devastates children and the families. You know what's not funny is when parents are helplessly crying at bedside because their children are in agony and there's not a damn thing they can do to stop it. There is no laughter. There is no glamour. There's nothing funny or cute or beautiful about children suffering. The people who are indirectly impacted by this, they have no scar tissue in childhood cancer whatsoever. They are using this for their own selfish desires and their needs and their own purposes. They don't care about your kids. They can tell you that they care about your kids. I'm telling you, they don't. They care enough to make themselves look good by using your children to make themselves look good. They are preying on the vulnerable and the weak. So they helped you with money. You know what? Good for them. I encourage people to pay it forward, and I'm not shunning good deeds. But it is disingenuous then to say, or to plaster it all over Facebook, or to pretend that you give a fuck about somebody's kids, so long as you can make yourself look good, that you can make a name for yourself. See, the thing that separates me from all these people, the Milt Tysons and the Ronnie Duvalls of the world, the thing that separates me from them is the fact that I actually went through the things that these kids are going through. I know what childhood cancer is. I'm not doing this for kudos. I'm not doing this for accolades. I'm not doing this for the pat on the back and, to be told how amazing I am by a total and complete fucking stranger. Is your life really that empty and incomplete that you have to live vicariously through children or other people? I'm just curious. Why are you here? Why are you using people's kids to make yourself look good? I'm telling you people, if you're a parent of a cancer kid, I'm telling you there are people out there who do not give two shits and a fuck about your kids. They only care, they pretend to care so they can make themselves look good. And that is it. And to all my friends, and I'm probably going to catch hell for this, but for all my friends who are friends with these people, you got to stop and think about the bigger picture. You have to start seeing the forest for the trees, because these people pretend to care so they can make themselves look good. I'm not pretending. I'm dead serious. But I have to be dead serious because I've been through that. And when someone who has never had to go through that comes along and tells me how I need to think and feel, I tell them they can fuck right off, because they have never had to live my life. They have never had to walk a day in my shoes or the shoes of your children. They've never had to live their life. They've never had to be a parent that had to sit by and watch their own kids suffer at the behest of a deadly disease. I have had it. I am fed up. I've been fed up for a long time. A person's actions are always going to speak louder than their words, and if their actions are showing that their good intentions are not good, they're not pure. They can tell you that. That's how they get inside your mind. Why else would someone who's never had to go through this, why would they be here? Why are they here? And these are usually people who are failures, utter failures. They couldn't do anything else. They come from broken homes. They get kicked out of homeless shelters for sexually harassing people. Or they use people's kids to avoid the penalties of probation for drug possession. These people are good for nothing. And so many of my friends and parents abroad, they hold these particular people to a higher standard. They hold them, they put them on a pedestal. And a lot of people could view this as, oh, Jared is just jealous. You know what? Maybe I am. And maybe I have a right to be. Because unlike them, I can actually relate to your situation. And the only reason that they're making such a bad name about Jared Fuller is because they don't have those direct connections like I do. These people are also jealous. They will never admit it, but they are. They don't like it because someone has something different to say and maybe potentially makes sense to a broader spectrum of the people in the childhood cancer world, and they think, gee, I never thought of that before. Now it makes sense. It should make sense. That's the point. And I don't want to take up too much more time with this, but it is incredibly frustrating to see how blindsided my friends are towards people who are pathetic, miserable, low-life, leeching scum of the earth. And my friends and a lot of my connections are hoisting these people up like they are something great. They're nothing. And I just wish my friends would stop and think for a minute. What are you allowing? Why are you allowing it? It's no different than someone who's faking having cancer to get money, which I see and hear about all the time, and I think it's fucking disgusting. Why would any reasonable person like yourself, if you're a cancer parent, why are you in defense of atrocities? You would never allow this anywhere else at any other time. I don't care if they gave you money. You know when they give you money to make you like them? That's like bribery to me. They have to buy your friendship. They have to buy your love and affection. That's really fucking sad. Because the love and the affection and the understanding that I get from my friends that I've had these same friends for years now, we have that mutual personal understanding. And the people who've denied my cancer battle when there's all kinds of evidence corroborating and pointing to it, I know exactly what I'm talking about. I've been through it. My body, I'm still feeling the effects from things that happened 30 plus years ago. Now, you don't have to like me because I emailed you and said, why would you make that decision? What are you basing your decision on? I just want to have a rational, civilized conversation. I'm not looking to name call. I'm not even looking to throw fuck words out there. I just want to know, why would you do that? What convinces you that I'm such a bad person? And I never get a straight answer. I never get an answer at all, actually. Well, and then when they feel that they're being backed into a corner of intellectual thinking because somehow they feel threatened, oh, well, he's harassing me. It's not fucking harassment. It's not harassment. I'm trying to understand your position and your way of thinking. Because if I haven't done anything to you, even remotely threatening, why would you treat me as if I did? Oh, well, we heard this, and, all these people are saying it, so it must be true. Which is an absolute, that is like the top of the argument from ignorance. That is like the top of the heap. The absolute dumbest excuse or reason I have ever heard in my life. Well, all these people are saying it, so golly, it must be true, because why would all these people say it? Well, that's a good question, and I can come up with a follow-up question, which would be, what would give them a reason to say it? And I'm asking for the reason. I'm asking for the evidence. And I still have yet to see some shred of material that would, because here's the thing, and there's people who said, well, you know what, Jared, Jared had this old account and he said all kinds of horrible things, but we can't prove it because the account's been deleted. That's still a claim. You're still making a claim. You still have to prove your claim that I've done something wrong or that I've said something that was inappropriate. It doesn't matter. You can tiptoe around, oh, we don't have to provide evidence and blah, blah, blah. So you're just a fucking liar then. And you like to start shit. I prefer to do things the right way. I prefer to do things the honest way. I prefer to make critical decisions based on sufficient bodies of evidence that suggest to me that something is in fact true. I don't go by hearsay. I don't say, well, a bunch of people said it, so I should probably just do what they tell me to do. No, I'm sorry. That's not how my mind works. It's not how my brain is engineered. I had to teach myself that. I had to teach myself that, I cannot go by what people tell me. I gotta have proof. And even if they're making the claim, the onus is on them to demonstrate the validity of the claim they're making. It's not up to me to prove anything, because I'm not making a claim. And the reason I can almost, there's two reasons why they're not showing any evidence. Well, obviously there is none. Secondly, because I already know what's true. I know what I do and what I don't do. I'm not stupid. And if they present something to me that doesn't match up with what I already know to be true, they're going to make themselves look foolish. And we can't look foolish. We have to look right. We have to be right. We have to take Jared down. Well, you haven't taken me down. I'm still here. I don't know what I don't know what your problem is. Oh, he writes sex poems, not for children. Okay, I had written a poem for my ex-girlfriend Ruth, who passed away. And I miss her every fucking day, by the way. I had written a poem, and it was written for a woman. as if I'm expressing my sentiment and my love for my woman. Ruth liked it. And it's a bit kind of, romantic, and it kind of talks about, doing adult things, but not like using swear words or anything like that, or not getting into detail about, any of the adult stuff. Ruth liked it. Okay, that's wonderful. I have been a freelance writer, writing journals and poetry for 20 plus years. Don't you think I have some expertise, or at least some experience at what I do, at my hobby? I don't write sex poems about kids. I write poems for children battling cancer, or my actor friends. Yes, to show how important and special they are, and to know that they are loved by somebody. But the word love is always taken out of context. And they do this purposely, to try to make me look like a bad person. It, by the way, doesn't work. Because only people with sick minds are going to immediately go to that point. They will immediately think the worst. Oh, well, Jared used the word love writing a poem for a child. Oh my God, you better watch him, because he loves children. Of course I love, who doesn't love kids? But I don't love children the same way I love women. I'm not in love with children. That's the difference. And any reasonable person would also understand that love has nothing at all to do with sex. And people, I don't know, it's this faulty thinking that we somehow equate love with sex and sex with love. You can enjoy one and not the other. That is humanly possible. There's no, I shouldn't have to explain and get all pedantic about my poetry, but I don't write sex poems for kids. That was one of the claims. I would never write anything perverted or suggestive about a child to a child. Like I said, I had written a poem that was more for a grown woman, okay? And my ex-girlfriend, Ruth, I showed it to her. She loved it. Because Ruth and I were in love with each other. That's the difference. Now she's gone. And these people who are purposely trying to make me look like a bad guy. I don't write sex poems about kids. I just don't. I never have, and I never would. Because someone, even with the expertise that I have, I've been writing, this November I'll be writing journals for 21 years. I've been writing poetry and riddles since the early 90s, I think, since I was like 8 years old. So, to me, I have that experience. I have a very eloquent vocabulary. I understand word usages, and I understand contexts. Love and sex are not always on the same footing. I love my friends, but I can love them in a non-sexual way. If I'm with a woman and we have a little rendezvous and we meet up somewhere, or, I'm with a woman, I'm in a relationship, yes, I can enjoy sex without loving her. Or if I'm in a relationship, I will be in love with her. This idea that love and sex have to come together all the time, it's pathetic to me. It's pathetic. I have a lot of guy friends that I say much love to all the time. There's my neighbor down the road here. I shake his hand, I give him a hug, I say, I love you, neighbor, and he says, love you too, neighbor. That's a brother thing. That there's nothing sexual going on. And when I have to I mean, I shouldn't even have to explain this. It's how pathetic people are. They automatically resort, their mind goes to this dark, perverted place, and they say, well, Jared writes all these perverted poems for kids. No, I don't. Because the word love shows up in a poem, it doesn't mean that there's some kind of a sexual feeling behind that. Love is something that you feel in your heart. Love is an emotion. It has nothing to do with sex. You know, and to state for the record, I've had sex with women and not love them or not be in love with them. It is possible because I love them as a friend, yes, as a companion, because the women that the woman that I've met up with, we love each other as friends, but we're not in love with each other. Like, we're not in a relationship. So, yes, I've had partners, okay? Big deal. But it doesn't mean that okay, the sex, if you know, having sex with a woman, it doesn't mean that I have to love her or be in love with her. It just doesn't. So, you know, I can't even talk because it's stupid to have to sit here and go through this. I have to dissect my poems now. Or at least they think that I have to dissect my poems. And I'm here to tell you I don't. I know what I mean and what I write. And the fact that I would even indulge in my personal life should tell you, at least in part, that I'm being sincere when I tell you that I understand the contexts with love. You can love someone or you can be in love with someone. And, you know, it's ridiculous to me that people will find anything at all to hold against you. Like someone, I mean, there was even a claim, oh, Jared asked for pictures of kids. I know what they're referring to. I collect autographs. I have a big, extensive collection of autograph photos. They're not all kids, but I do like to show my support by saying that I think you're going places in life, you're an amazing, talented young person, you're going to make it far in life. And I believe in you and I'll support you. And then I'll say, can I get your autograph, you know? Because it's a hobby. Collecting autographs has always been a hobby. And it makes them feel good. Someone wants my autograph and he's the first one. I've been the first autograph request for a lot of young actors, which a lot of people don't know. But yes, I have. And I have a lot of grown actors in my collection. A lot of adults in my collection. I have nearly 400 autographs. Nearly. So this, he asked for, you know, pictures, autographs, pictures of kids. Okay. But with their parents' permission, because they are in the entertainment industry. A lot of them don't send autographs, which is fine. I still supported them. You don't have to, you know, I don't need an autograph of each and every, you know, talent that I show my support to. I wish people would just grow up. They're so interested in my life that they're not paying attention to their own. I pay attention to the extent that people are foolish and ridiculous, and they don't think clearly. They don't think logically. And so that, in turn, creates a problem. I love my friends. I'm not in love with my friends, but I do love my friends. And when I reach out to the parents who say, you know what, you need to just be careful and just know what you're getting yourself into. It's not me trying to cause an argument or to try to get these people to turn against me, but they need to know. And at which point, I mean, I don't even tell people anymore. I don't even say, you know what, I'm not going to contact them on Messenger and say, you know what, you really need to stop talking to Milk, or you need to stop talking to Ronnie, or you need to stop talking to such and such and such and such. I let these people find out on their own now. Because if I'm trying to point something out, it's making me look foolish. Like I'm no better than they are. Suddenly I'm at their level of low, and I'm not low. I'm better than that. And, you know, I don't want to stoop to their level and you know, warn people of other people. They're going to find out on their own eventually, and you can sweet talk your way into people's lives and people's hearts all you want. It's going to get out eventually. People are going to find out about you eventually. As for myself, I'm still waiting, or at least I'm still trying to figure out what they're basing their decisions on. Because again, like I pointed out earlier, mathematically speaking, and you know, the laws of probability tells me that eventually, with my big conglomeration of friends that I have, it would almost seem to me that if anybody has evidence of anything, they're making a claim, or they're posting a screenshot of something I said, or they're showing some kind of evidence where I've said or done something wrong, where it's coming directly from me, though. It almost seems as if that would circle back around to me. Nothing of the nature has circled back around to me, other than someone who got their panties in a wad because I emailed them. Well, big, hairy fucking deal. So I emailed you. There's people who email me that I don't know, but you don't see me crying foul. You don't see me coming out here saying, well, you better stop emailing me, or I'm going to sue you because I feel threatened by you emailing me. You're harassing me. They're not harassing me. I read an email, I just say, I don't respond. Or I just block the email address. It's really that simple. There's nothing to it. Instead of whining and complaining, just do what you got to do and get on with your fucking day. You know, that there's just so much about what's going on that the childhood cancer world should never be toxic, because we've already had a known toxic situation, the cancer. And it's really that, it's just mundane. The way grown people behave is absurd. Like high school kids, or kids who are in pre-K and have not come to the level of maturity to where, okay, if there's a problem, maybe we should be grown about this and we should discuss the issue. Because people, by and large, get lumped and categorized into specific groups where they don't belong. You're categorizing me as some guy in a bad guy group or a bad person group, when in fact, you haven't even made your case. And I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed by what's going on. And that, you know, I've been here for a little while. I've been here for over an hour. And my dog is scratching at the door. He's waiting for me to let him in. That would be Barkley. Although it's nice outside, and he probably should just stay outside. But if he wants in, I'll let him in. You know, I don't want him to... It might be too hot for him because he's got black hair, and I don't want him to overheat. So, anyway, I'm flying solo this week. I appreciate all of you watching the Sunday video update. My name is Jared Fuller, a.k.a. Jer Bear. You know, email me sometime. My email address is in the About tab section of my YouTube channel. I point this out now. I make it a habit, or at least I try to remember to make it a habit. Email me and let's have a conversation. I'm not looking to fight. I don't want to fight with anybody. I just want to have a civilized conversation. I want to know what your problem is with me. I don't think it's too much to ask. But on the other hand, it might be for most people who are dishonest. And they can't, hold on, Barkley, they can't honestly approach this problem with maturity and an understanding. Or they can't at least email me and say, hey, Jared, I was wrong for acting the way I did, man. Can you accept my apology, please? And be sincere about it. There's a good chance that I might. And we can resolve this issue. Whatever problem you have with me, let's try to resolve it. Let's be adult. Let's be gentlemanly or womanly, I guess, if that's a word. Let's be mature enough to settle a dispute. Because I don't want to fight. Life is too short. I don't want to fight with people. And I'm sure as hell getting tired of being accused of being someone that I'm not. And all I'm saying is, if I've done something wrong, please bring it to my attention. Don't be a coward. Bring it to my attention. Show me. Present your case. Show me some screenshots or show me some evidence. Show me something I've done wrong. And don't cry foul and throw in the harassment card because, oh, he emailed me and I just didn't like it. You know what? Grow the fuck up. You're not a child. It's time you grew up and started acting like an adult. If there is a problem, address it. Let's have a conversation. But don't sit behind a screen and think you're Miss Self-Righteous or Mr. Self-Righteous and you don't want to have conversations. Because I'm telling you, you're just making yourself look ridiculous. And my dog's barking to get in, so I'm going to wrap up this video and get it uploaded to my channel because it's going to take all day to get this uploaded. So, much love to all of you. Please be safe out there. Exercise your social distancing. And make sure that you look over people who love you and the people you love, and just let's look out for each other, guys. Let's just the quicker and the more we oblige to the rules, the quicker this is going to go away. At least I hope so. And if no one told you today or at all last week, you matter. You matter to me. You matter to somebody else in the world. You matter to a whole bunch of people. You matter. And if you're a good person with good intentions and you're honest in your endeavors, many more people will also love and care about you. You will matter to more people. So, much love. Have a good week. And I'll see you next Sunday. Dad and Amy will probably join me. And if Amy was here, she would say, peace out. Dad would say, have a good week. So, for Dad and Amy who are absent this week, much love. And see you later. Bye-bye.